All right, so congratulations on buying your very first succulent from the store, whether it be a big box store or online, like this beautiful little pagoda style sedum. But before you go putting it in some general potting mix, let me go ahead and show you the best way to mix your own soil to give your succulents the best path for success. So let's go ahead and get started right away. Now, first off, you may go to the big box store and you're gonna get what they call cacti, succulent, sometimes citrus blend. Don't use that stuff, guys. It's just a marketing ploy. If you want to make something that's going to be perfect for these succulent plants, they need to be very, very well draining, and they don't need a lot of moisture retention or just humus and compost like you're going to get with a lot of blends, okay? So they're actually growing natively in very nutrient poor soils, so giving them the proper blend is going to set you up for success. Now that being said, like I mentioned, they don't want a lot of water retention. These plants will rot, okay? You can tell by the nice succulent leaves right here. They're designed to get water and store it for a long term in harsh climates, so it rains very, very, very sporadically. So if you water it too much, especially in water retentive soil, it's just gonna rot and die. So if you've had trouble getting your succulents to thrive, that might be why. But you know what? Here's the answer. It's going to be super simple. I'm going to show you how to mix the soil. We're going to repot this together and just get you on your way. So first off, this is just a nice generic potting mix, kind of amended a little bit already with some extra perlite. There are a couple pieces of bark like you'd always get in these potting blends. So this is going to be about maybe a quarter, maybe a little bit more than a quarter, as you can tell. Now this here is just perlite. Okay, this is very fine perlite, a little bit of vermiculite, little volcanic stone stuff that's kind of been puffed up, right? This is going to give your soil great aeration. It's also going to give a little bit of moisture retention. Now over here, you can see this is just some washed beach sand. Okay, I don't like to use this too heavily because I think as over time, it does kind of wash out of your soil with just the fine little particles like this. Okay, so it's going to wash out the bottom drainage holes of your pot. So I use this more of a top dressing, and you'll see how I'm going to use that. Okay, and last but not least, this is just some nice pumice. Now this is just little pieces of rock here. Now this is what's going to give your soil a great deal of drainage. It will retain a little bit of moisture, but it's going to, that nice gritty, rocky texture is really going to help make this a free draining medium is what we're looking for. So all you're gonna do is just get yourself a nice little tray. I'm just gonna mix all this stuff together just like this. I almost did the sand there. This is my top dressing, like I mentioned. So really simple, guys. You're not rocket science, okay? Mix this stuff all nice together like this. Try not to breathe this air in. That's gonna be not good for your lungs. But look at this. Look how free draining this is, how loose that soil is, right? That's what you want for your succulent blend, guys, just like that. This is going to be what is perfect for your plants. So let me go ahead and show you how I'm going to pot this up. Okay, so once your soil blend is made right here, you're going to very gently take the succulent out of its pot. Now this is a very common size, little 2-inch pot you're going to get from big box stores, or this was actually purchased online. But look at this. There's fine roots all through this, but there's no moisture. This is just not doing good at all, okay? So it's very important to repot your succulents once you get them for this reason. And also you can tell how dry the soil is. I don't want to do this when the soil is wet, okay? This is gonna happen. Little things are gonna break off. It's inevitable, but your plant's gonna be fine. Now very gently, see I'm kind of breaking this up. I'm not ripping it apart, guys. And a little bit of packing, little paper around it was kind of the packing in the package there. And just like this, see I'm just kind of gently breaking it up. That's what you're looking for, okay? You're not really in here trying to rip it apart or dig through it and all this kind of stuff. You hear that little, that's just I don't know what that even is. That's not good quality mix. I mean, that's very, very fibrous, mostly probably peat moss or some kind of coconut coir. Not going to be good for your plant. So what I like to do first, go ahead and scrape it out a little bit in the bottom, get kind of your base layer, and then I'm just going to gently try to keep these roots flared out. And that's a little bit too deep. See how it's below the lip of the pot? Too deep. So let's go ahead and add a little bit more, kind of readjust. Well, that's kind of what you want, guys. You want the base of the plant right here to be actually below the soil level, okay? You don't want to have it up because the water's just going to drain off. If you put it too far down and the soil gets too high, you're going to rot the stem off. Rotting and overwatering is what's going to be detrimental to your plant. So be brave, just be brave, okay? The plant's going to recover just fine. If some of these little bottom roots come off, it's going to be fine. The plant will actually respond more positively than actually if you just stuck it in with how it was originally planted, okay? It's actually going to do better by giving it this treatment. And you just kind of go around the outside. Same time, I'm kind of holding the plant in place, going around the sides like this, give it a little shake. All the while, kind of just tapping it down, making sure it's in there nice and firm. Now this plant may need like a rock or something to kind of support it because it is a little bit top heavy, but I think this soil mixture is heavy enough that it's going to actually hold the position just nicely. And there you go. That's nice and repotted. Now what I always try to do is add a little bit of a top dressing, more as an aesthetic, but it also helps kind of keep some of the moisture, the dust down. And I think it just looks kind of cool, just kind of a nice little gravelly bit like that. You can add like decorative rocks, anything like that at all. But it's what's going to help keep the air circulating around the plant. It's not going to let a lot of moisture pool up, as it's going to really drain through, which is very, very important. I've said and said again, make sure you have very well draining substrate. Now, what you typically would do during a repotting, whether it be for a flower, a tree, a bush, something, you're going to say, okay, now you need to water it in. Don't do that. Don't do that for at least a week. 2 weeks, the plant is not showing any signs of stress. We just disturbed those roots heavily. We tore them apart. We repotted it. This plant has plenty of moisture stores up in these leaves, okay? And they're going to just take a little bit of time to rebound. Now you can slowly water it after that. I would recommend kind of giving it a nice thorough soaking so the water drains out the bottom, and then let it go completely dry. Let it dry completely out, let the plant recover. Once you start seeing the growth tips really start putting on active new growth, you're going to be good. Now see right here, try to get a better shot this direction. See how this yellow leaf right here? All right, this leaf, it's really not doing anything at all for the plant. It's kind of sad, it's really squishy and flimsy, and quite honestly, it's probably going to drop off or just kind of look really sad. Just let it go, let it naturally wither off. You don't need to cut it, because if you do cut it, you're going to expose the succulent stem down in here, which is an avenue to get fungus and rot and things like that, which is not good. Just let it naturally fall off and you'll be just fine. So there you go, guys. That's how you make your own special succulent blend that's going to set you up for success, and how to repot your very new succulent that you just got in the mail or bought at a big box store. So hopefully this helps, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me here at the hillside, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.